Well, hello everyone, once more. If you somehow forgot from last time, I'm Ash, the hotshot scourge of the Wild West, and you're all very welcome to this week's installment of Insane Things. Now, we're going to start with something that isn't that film related, but it certainly needs mentioning because what in the name of Greg's Steak Bakes is this? There's literally a giant cow that's been making the rounds on the news named Knickers that is too big to eat, and that's not a lie. Someone called a cow Knickers and she's massive and the new internet darling because who else champions the people better than an abnormal heifer? Like me! It's no wonder then that art has been imitating life to the tune of some seriously bonkers revelations in the worlds of film and TV. Where else can you hear about a Mary Poppins sea monster, Seth Rogen playing a pickle, and someone pooping themselves whilst doing a high kick on stage? Where else would you want to hear these things, I ask? I beg, where? Now, I'm still brewing up an intro since the big Bolds friend has let me down, is in Japan or something, so let's just plow right on into the hot and fresh content. 8. Julie Andrews' Aquaman cameo has been revealed. It might have already screened to critics already to their collective delight, but there's still new news coming out about James Wan's standalone Aquaman movie. Mere weeks ahead of its release, the film has had another megastar name added to its cast, with the news that Julie Andrews, aka Mary Poppins herself, is playing a key character. She's called Carathan and she holds the key to Aquaman realising his destiny of being the hero Atlantis needs and uniting the surface world with his underwater homeland. That was all very mysterious, since the only real hint about her character came from Wan, who said on Twitter that she would be playing the most powerful creature on Earth. Now, that may have suggested to some that she was actually just playing Mary Poppins again, since she's pretty freaking powerful to be honest, as she can charm birds, has a massive handbag, and makes medicine taste nice. But the reality is far better and far more surprising. Thanks to one of the critics who has seen the film, Andrews is in fact voicing a giant, bloody sea monster, which is quite apart from the refined image Andrews usually inspires, isn't it? But fantastic. 7. Seth Rogen's new movie is utter madness. Here's a revelation for you. Seth Rogen likes drugs. What? Since when? Specifically, he's a fan of mowing the grass and a big exponent for marijuana legalization. He also seems like a genuine fan of movies, comics and TV shows, and generally the kind of person you'd like to spend time hanging out with. He's nice and normal enough, but that label might be slightly under threat now though if the hot dog bonking movie wasn't enough, because news of one of his upcoming projects has started to come out, and honestly, it sounds like the wild ravings of a man on the edge. It stars Rogen as an actual pickle man. Where have we heard that before? Here's how Collider break it down. Rogen will play dual roles as Herschel Greenbaum and his great-great-grandson. The film opens in 1918 with Herschel falling into a vat of pickles. He's brined for 100 years, but the brine preserves him perfectly, and when he emerges in present-day Brooklyn, he sets out to find his family. It turns out that his only surviving relative is his great-great-grandson, a mild-mannered computer coder who Herschel can't even begin to understand. Yes! Absolutely great that. Nothing strange at all about an 130-year-old man pickle in full Encino Man mode. 6. Torchwood's John Barrowman shat himself on stage once. There's something solid and dependable about Torchwood's Captain Jack Harkness, so imagine everyone's surprise when the man behind the character, John Barrowman, revealed on I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here that he had done something particularly unbecoming of a Golden Age hero on stage in front of lots of people and also on them a bit. He revealed in a candid moment that he had once been spiked by a fellow actor who put laxatives in his drink before he went on stage, and his quote went something like this: "I shit myself on stage twice, a guy put a laxative in my water. I was kicking and I thought I was gonna fart, and then all of a sudden I just feel this warmth that I've never felt before, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I just shit my pants. I started kicking backwards to get myself off stage, and I could see I was kicking shit on the front row of the audience." Mother of God! He also added pleasantly that he was wearing a white suit at the time of the shattening. There's some joke about Doctor Who / Doctor Pooh right here that needs to be made, but you know, it's beneath me. Like the turd-stained audience below Barrowman. Zing! 5. Jason Derulo is in Cats. If you've ever heard a Jason Derulo song or seen one of his music videos, you will absolutely know who he is. This is mostly because he handily sings his own name repeatedly during his songs in order to remind you of his brand. It's clever marketing, really. Ashley Millman. Oh, no, doesn't work for me. What you might not know, moving swiftly onwards, is that he's also apparently an actor, which will come as a surprise to anyone who's seen his IMDb page because it doesn't feature anything besides his music videos. But nonetheless, he's just been cast as Rum Tum Tugger, the rudest sounding of all the cats in Cats, which also has Taylor Swift and Sir Ian McKellen and Judi Dench in. It's not entirely unprecedented, of course, but Derulo doesn't immediately seem like someone you cast out of nowhere in a musical, so it's easy to be taken aback somewhat. Prepare for him to be singing Rum Tum Tugger every second line he has, and I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop doing that. 4. Disney used a bad John C. Reilly impression for a WreckIt Ralph 2 promo. Disney has previous history with hiring stand-in voice actors to allow their big characters to appear in commercials and even those straight-to-DVD sequels nobody watched that have now been canned. They've done it with Tom Hanks' brother for Woody from Toy Story multiple times in video games and commercials, for instance. It makes sense, they sound the same and Jim Hanks is a lot less expensive and more available than his big brother. What you wouldn't quite expect is for them to hire someone who sounds nothing like the original actor behind one of those characters to appear on a Disney commercial advertising the actual tentpole movie he's starring in that's now in cinemas. But that's precisely what they've done for one Ralph Breaks the Internet promo that is airing on the Disney Channel. Rather than asking John C. Reilly, who voices smashy hero WreckIt Ralph, to record some new lines as part of his publicity duties, they got a stand-in, and for the vetting process they appear to have simply asked him if he could do an impression of WreckIt Ralph and then didn't really follow through on checking it. Seriously, the hilariously bad result sounds like Kermit the Frog doing an impression of Ray Romano. It's... 3. Game of Thrones has Gestapo security. There are certain things you should never bring up if you're in any way in the public eye. You should avoid being a bigot, and to be honest, you should just avoid doing that at all or go somewhere else. You shouldn't repeat any offensive jokes that might have been seen on James Gunn's Twitter feed, and you definitely shouldn't refer to your own people in any way as Nazi-like. Unfortunately, it seems that Game of Thrones director David Nutter didn't get that memo because he's just likened the security around the final season's production to something akin to an instrument of World War II. He was talking in an interview about the measures HBO have gone to stop leaks getting out, and his quote went something like this. Sometimes there were paparazzi in amazing places, on construction cranes and all kinds of crazy places to try and get a point of view of things. They were all over, everywhere, trying to get in what was happening. We wanted to make sure nobody knew what was happening, and they went to the nth degree. They basically take it to the point where it's like the Gestapo. Come on now, David, let's not bring up the Gestapo. Even flippantly. That's the kind of thing that people on the internet will notice and shame in videos like this one. Just behave, please. 2. Michael Bay directed an Instagram skit for Lewis Hamilton and Will Smith. If you've at all been wondering what Michael Bay's been up to since Transformers: The Last Knight came out in 2017, you're probably not alone. It is, after all, always good to keep tabs on where he is and what he's up to in case he springs another childhood-ruining franchise on us out of the blue. Anyway, as well as directing the Royal Run starring Six Underground, he's also been doing some side work filming Instagram gags for Formula One stars. Yep, that happened. The video, which was posted by Will Smith, saw him for some reason behind the scenes of the Abu Dhabi F1 race to seemingly interrupt Lewis Hamilton's race preparation and then kidnap him. According to a shaky video post on his Instagram anyway. It turns out, for an added weirdness bonus, that this ridiculous video is actually directed and filmed by a gleeful Michael Bay, whose signature action shooting style is why you probably feel seasick from watching even a little bit of it. Confused John Travolta. 1. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And finally, here is a heartwarming festive story to end things. Everyone loves the Santa Claus. Along with Toy Story, it made a household name of Tim Allen, who starred as Scott Calvin, a normal, slightly arrogant businessman who unwittingly murdered Santa Claus on Christmas Eve and was forced to take over from him. That is pretty dark for a kids' film, to be quite frank, but it gets away with its charm and lots of nice gags. Plus, the other Santa wasn't even as funny as Tim Allen, so he doesn't count, it's fine. The original version of the movie, it turns out, was even darker and probably would have taken an awful lot more to get over. Allen appeared on Jimmy Fallon's show to reveal that the script originally had him shooting Santa to death. Cheerful. Nobody saw an issue with this until the head of Disney at the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, said they couldn't open a family Christmas film with gun violence and Santicide. Alan said he argued that it shouldn't be an issue since they always kill the parents off in their other movies, but they were unmoved by his appeal that it would be funny. God bless us, everyone. And that has been Insane Things. That's as much of that as you get. So what else belongs on this list? What weird and wonderful happenings of the filmic world have you seen this week that you want to share? Share your thoughts below in the comment thread. As usual, I've been Ash, this has been What Culture, and I'll see you again next week for all of the strange and freaky stuff